Good evening, everyone, and I use that term lightly. It's Tuesday, March 10, 2026, 11 p.m. Central Standard Time here in Champaign, Illinois. You're watching Co-op for Two. You're joining me for our 6th session of Etherfields, an older game from, 2020, 21, 22, somewhere around there. And this is a little unusual game for us because most of the campaign games, long games that we play on this channel, we're fully committed to seeing them through to the end, sticking by the rules. This one is a little bit more dicey. Will we finish a campaign? I'm not sure. I'm honestly not sure. We've had some very good experiences here, but we've had a taste of why some people have complained about this game. A little bit of grinding, a little bit of fighting that was not welcome, was not wanted. I want to explore, discover story, and we're getting half that and half we're getting sort of monotonous fighting. So I'm not sure. Today's session will start out a little slow as we refresh our memory of where we left off and what our choices are. I've been away for 2 weeks, which means I've forgotten nearly everything. But we'll get ourselves back up to speed. Let me just check in with the chat. Jonathan Warner is here and not many others. I do apologize for starting this stream an hour late, although 11 p.m. does feel like the right time to be playing Etherfields. Any thoughts, Jonathan, before I jump into a recap and look at our dream world map and where we left off? Any initial thoughts? One of the interesting things about having a YouTube channel and doing these live playthroughs is not always having a handle on whether something is watchable. And I mean, we're already talking about a very small group of people that want to sit and watch a live playthrough. But then there are games that are very hard to follow without the stuff being in front of you, especially when it's such a big setup and so hard to keep everything on the screen at the same time. So I don't know if Jonathan is going to get tired of this game at some point, tired of joining it on YouTube, that is. So we'll see. So far I am enjoying it, but I can feel that little itch in the back of my head not wanting to do this grindy stuff. So the first thing to say is that I have swapped out to the version 2 map tiles. Maybe some of you thought it wasn't yet time to do so, but I think after that last session, it is. So let me remind you what happened in the last session. In the last session, we went into a train yard. We had a dream. I'm not going to explain how Etherfields work. If you haven't watched the previous sessions, no point watching this one. But we've got dreams available, and we got a dream that let us go visit this weird train station. And the first half of that dream was very cool. This is a very cool little dream world where almost anything is possible, but there are some rules. Each dream is like its own little world with its own rules. We rescued a dog. We met a penguin who has special powers that we now have access to. Very cool first half. And then the second half, a monster came out and he was basically like, I'm going to chase you around with deadly intent for the rest of this dream. And you're not going to be able to do anything you want to do because you're going to have to worry about me killing you. And we barely survived that, but we did survive that. We got to the end of this train yard. We had to hop on a train. We weren't all that thrilled about hopping on a sort of rickety train rather than a luxury train. But we did get to the end of it. It did give us new tiles for the dream world, so we discovered new places. We discovered this place Horizon that the train goes to, and we also discovered Insomnia, another place on our map. So our dream world map is almost complete. In fact, if I lay it out, you can see there's only 2 spots that are not yet out, although it may be that some of these tiles change over time, so it's not that this is all we're going to see. But this place came out new, Insomnia came out new, Echo may have come out fairly recently. At the end of that dream, this is the dialogue we read. We got on the train. We discovered in this train dream a whole bunch of other dreams that we can now go to. We've actually got a fairly large set of possible dreams to do next. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, which is kind of crazy. Often it seems like when you go in a dream, you get a new version of it or a way to return to it. So we have 2 of those. And we'll look at all those in a second. But let's just recap how we ended our last session. We gained an ether. We cured to distress because our distress was almost enough to kill us. And it's not in great shape now. We got Insomnia. We learned about railways. We learned about these degenerates. They came into our slumber deck. Train tickets went into the item market. We got 3 new shopping cards, and we're back on ordinary days. Now, it says you'll probably return to the station many times, especially because you might have missed something. So we're going to be back at this train station. And we got rid of the train station dream. I forget what the dream was called. It got put into the discarded set here. But we did get a new dreamscape gate tile, dream gate tile. which lets us go back. So let's see. Higher and higher, and the city that never sleeps. Okay, so we got these new dreams. What does it say here? I always wanted to reach the top. Along the way, I wonder why. Okay, so I forget how we got that one. Maybe we don't have a reason for it. Then we got this city that never sleeps new dream. When you're finally done with your business, soon there will be more important things to do. Again and again. Okay. We also discovered in the basement of one of these railway rooms. Was this the railway where we discovered this? This may have been the previous mission we discovered this. The previous mission we discovered a secret lab in this weird area, which I am anxious to go back to. And then, oh, here was the return to the dream world. I guess they're colored green when you get one where you can go back to it. So it's cheap. It's only one key, and we can go back to the train yard, I guess. Very similar to the previous one. And then we have another way to go back to the basement. That was the mission before the last one. Before the train was the basement, which was a very weird mission where it seemed like it was over before it started. We had a labyrinth, very weird, and we had some complaints about the game rules. So that's most of these, but then we have two more dreams. One that we got right at the start, and we were told this is a good, the hint seems to be a good place for us to rest. And then we also have this one, which I don't remember where we got. Investigation in the foggy dock. So we have a total of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 dreams to choose from, and we can choose which of these to do next. So one of the decisions we'll make today is which of these dreams to go to next. Part of that decision is going to have to hinge on our health, because we've already got 4 distress out of an 8 total, and the game ends. So one of the things we need to decide about right now as we start our scenario is whether we want to wake up. Now let's review this again. Jonathan says, discover the secret dream lab located in Haven. Took the train to abandoned part of the station. We discovered the Haven secret lab. We discovered the secret lab in Haven. Oh, maybe we did. Okay, so anyway, if we decide to wake up, we basically discard our whole deck, cure all our distress, our 4 distress that we're almost maxed out on. We unseal all our cards. Right now we have 3 sealed cards, which is not good. It makes our deck smaller. Then we reshuffle everything. You can change your dreamer. You can change your mask. Right now we're using the devotion mask, which gives us a hand size of +2. But alternatively, and especially if we're afraid of dying, we could awaken and switch to the ghost mask, which lets us occasionally move through a wall, which could be like game breaking. Or we can ignore 1 distress per dreamscape phase. That's pretty huge in terms of survival. And, okay, so there's that. But you can't just change your mask whenever you want. You have to do this awakening or get some other permission to do it. If we do awake, we would lose all our keys, but we have no keys now. That's a key interesting decision here. Like, you don't want to wake up while you've gathered keys, then you lose them. But we have no keys now, and we only have one blue gem. So it seems like now might be the time to do this if we're going to do it. Then we can rebuild our influence deck if we have more than 40, but we don't, so that's not useful to us. We can restore 3 items. That is useful because we currently only have 1 available, and we would then get 3. And then it pops us to the awakening location, which is here. Now that could be a drawback if we want to go someplace far away. At the end of the dream, at the end of our last dream, we were told we could basically wake up anywhere. It wasn't quite wake up anywhere. We went into the train. Something told us that we could go almost anywhere on the Dreamscape map. Wonder if that was because of I think that was because of a train. And one of the things we noticed at the time was that you can't get to Horizon other than from a train. There's no routes into the Horizon map. So this might be one of our few times that we can go to Horizon. So maybe we want to go there. But if we want to wake up to cure our distress, we have to go here. So that's a bit of a tough decision. The other real punishment for awakening, although it cures your distress, you lose these progress cards that we've built that are quite expensive to build, although 2 are already flipped. It's certainly cheaper to flip them over, though, than to rebuild them. So, and then the other thing is we have this card that lets us use a shortcut without paying its cost. Okay, let me just also recap the version 2 map tiles that we've now brought out. So the version 1 map tiles commonly had these exclamation points where you would have to do a slumber. The new version 2 Dreamscape says that you don't have to do the exclamation points, and there were ways to get keys. So this one doesn't have exclamation points anymore. It has question marks, which are fate cards, which could send you into a slumber. But it has no more key cards, and it has no more forced slumbers. So instead, the way you get keys is you go to the dream gates. And when you travel to a dream gate, if you have enough keys, you can go into a dream that's located there, or you just get a key. Oh, but if you get a key, you do have to take a slumber, but there's a way to skip the slumbers, which I think we're going to start doing more frequently. Sanctuaries lets us unflip progress cards or unseal cards. That's good. Shopping, we can gain a key at the shopping markets, but I think we want to go shopping instead, although we don't have that much ether to spend. And then there's a rule about the train station. So because we have discovered the train station at our last mission, we get this card. So let's see how a railway works. You go to a train station and you can go to the train dream. You take the 120 secret tiles and you set it up. Spawn the conductor, who's a bad guy. If you survive the trip, restore the team to any other train station location. Okay, so it's basically a little slumber that lets you travel on the train. And then you can jump to any other train station. If you have a train ticket, you may return it without going into this dream. Okay, so I think this dream is like a little mini battle slumber, but it lets you jump to any other train station. So it's sort of like a fast travel, and it would be another way to get to Horizon. So we do have another way to get to Horizon by having a train dream from one station, like here or here. We can jump to here. And Jonathan says, if we don't have any keys, can we even do the mission in Horizon? Well, that's a good point. That's a good point. If we have no keys, we could jump ourselves in Horizon, and we could go here and get a key. But the moment we got a key, there's no way to circle back to it. The moment we got a key, we'd have to leave. So you're right. There's no point going here to try this dream. I don't even know if we have a dream that's set in Horizon, do we? We have a dream set in Pandemonium. We have a dream set in Suburbia. A dream set in Horizon. Oh, that's the Strange Laboratory. Metropolis, Echo, Metropolis, Profundum. We don't even have access to Profundums. It's not on our map, so we can't do that one. All right, so there's no real point going to Horizon unless we think, I mean, we could just unseal 2 cards, restore an item, go here, get a key, and then awaken or gain 2 hours. If we sleep, do we get all our hours back? I think we do. Maybe you get your hours back at the start of every dream. I can't remember now. I can't remember when the hours get reset. Maybe someone can remind me. We may have to check that out. So, okay. Unless the Horizon Dream, well, even if the Horizon Dream was only 1 key. So I guess our big decision now is whether to wake up and reset our health or whether to go for a nice, easy dream. We also met this guy. In Spaceport, we can spend 2 green or return this card and seal the top card to gain a key and cure 1. That doesn't seem that useful, but that's okay. So this was this weird guy who seems like a time traveler of sorts. All right, so the hours reset in the delta phase. Okay. So assuming that train let us go anywhere, I think it did have a limit. It may not have let us go to Echo, but let's not worry about that. If we do plan to wake up, it might be nice to go shopping first and try to use these 2 ether. Discard. Change their dreamers. Influence deck. So you don't lose your ether. Why did I think you lost your ether? So I guess we don't have to spend our ether because we don't lose it. You lose it when you save and restore. Jonathan said, went back to the old stream. The version 1 of Horizon did let you loop around that tile. If you wanted to do the mission in Horizon, you could look at it, but not sure you could still get keys on that tile. Huh, that's interesting. I mean, I could bring it up somewhere. Do I have it nearby? Just look at Horizon version 1. So this is the Horizon version 1 card. I see you can loop, but you can't get keys. So it doesn't really help. All right, so the real question is, what do we feel like? This is driving me a little bit bonkers. What do we want to do? What do we want to do? I think our main choices have to be between resting to cure this distress or doing the dream that we think might be a little bit easier, which we were assigned to very early. That's not a bad idea. In fact, as soon as you go into it, you would cure too. So I don't think this would be a bad idea. I'll never forget those sunshine days. We got this right at the start. When the world burns, you can always rest in the past. You will rest here and your shining gems will start truly shining. So this seems like maybe a nice safe place to go rather than waking up. Might be just as good. So if we wanted to do this one we still need 2 keys for though, and that's in Metropolis. So look, there's a gate, there's a gate. So if we popped out here, we could get a key, go here, get another key. But maybe we should just wake up and cure these this way, assuming that it'll take us a bit of I mean, we're not used to this version 2 way of getting keys. You can just walk around and get keys. We want to be in Metropolis with our second key, if this is what we're going to do. So we start here, we get off a train here, we get a key. Then we take a shortcut for free using this card and get our second key. Sorry, get our second key. And then we walk off and come back and go in. Jonathan says, better to do this in Horizon and then come here and here and here. Okay, even better. All right, let's do that then. Let's spawn ourselves here in Horizon. We'll get up the train here. Can unseal a card, gain 2 hours. Or unseal 2 cards, restore an item. Either way, we get a key. What's better? Unseal 2, restore an item, or unseal 1 and gain 2 hours. I mean, hours are pretty important. They allow us to have whole other turns. All right, let's do it this way. Let's go here. We'll unseal 2 cards, which just come off the top, I believe. These go in our discard. Then we're going to go here, restore an item. So we go and get our items. And I believe when you store an item, you don't get to choose. Do you remember, did we already look at the parrot for the tile that matched the barn on the horizon? I'm not sure we did. I think we did, but we can do it again. I know I can easily find out. Where's my list of them? Okay, so we did this one. And we did this one. So yes, we did do it. Although there is a new one that we can do thanks to our ghost driver person. Okay, so here's our restored item. It's the Book of Birds. Place 1 progress card from their hand for free. Okay, that's pretty great. All right, I'm going to put them there. Okay, so that was our restored item, not an item of our choice, but just a restored item. Then we are going to go here in this gate. Instead of going into the gate, we are going to get a key. Okay. Then we travel here, which relocates us to here. I guess we are going to go into the rest dream rather than heal. Okay, so then we're going to go up here. At this gate, we're going to get another key instead of going into that dream. Then we're going to take this shortcut. Normally, we would pay a penalty for taking a shortcut. Where are we told that penalty? I wish it was on this card. It's not, but that's okay. We're going to do this instead. Now, before we do this, let me remind you that we are looking for any image ever that has any of these things. I've put these on a nice tray for us. So keep this giant set of images in your mind. Oh, Jonathan reminds me I'm supposed to do a slumber. Okay, let me go back to that. But first of all, is there anything on this card? So, all right, let me back up a tiny bit. I'll put this tray aside. I'm going to use this to go into discard this fate card. Okay, so Jonathan is reminding me that the rule is if you take a key, you have to have a slumber. This is where things get dangerous. We now have the 2. I guess I should back up. I guess I need to back up and do one at a time. Okay, so let's back up here. I'm going to take out the fate card that lets us travel. All right, so when we get this first key, we're supposed to have a slumber now. All right, let's have our slumber and then let's be happy to skip it. Okay, so top card of the slumber deck. Now, if it's someone well, let's just look at it. It's a dream monger. Okay, so we know this guy. And look at this. It's not altogether a punishment. So you have 2 turns. if you can spend 6 green, you can buy influence cards from him. All right, so I guess we're going to do this one. Let me remember that we're on horizon. Let's move these out of the way. Let's get our slumber map tiles. Now, these are a little weird because sometimes they reset. There's 2 starting ones. I don't really remember if it should have reset or not. So I'm just going to assume that it's not reset. So there is our slumber map. This is the guy who we're facing, the Dream Monger. Do we have a miniature for this Dream Monger? You would think we would. He's got some rock on him. What does it say? Spawn the Masked Man. So we're supposed to use... a little bit messy. So, Masked Man. Where is the Masked Man? Can I even... Oh, there. Okay, so this is him. And he's a good guy. We rescued him before. So we spawn him here on this red thing. And we're going to spawn here. And we want to contact him. He doesn't hurt us. He doesn't do any damage to us. So all we got to do is, in 2 turns, is generate 6 green. So I'm going to put us right here. 2 turns, so we get out our turn deck. And we just take 2 of these cards. Nothing bad can happen to us here. Nothing bad can happen. He doesn't do anything bad. He just gives us the opportunity to buy cards so we don't have to go shopping. Okay, so here's our first turn card. He's going to do his basic effect, then he's going to morph, then he's going to move. There's no winning or losing this slumber, but in 2 turns, the slumber ends. So if you had a big slumber map, maybe it would be difficult to get to him. But remember, this contact can be done at 1 away, so this is going to be fairly easy for us to do. And we don't have much ether to buy with, so... All right, we've got... Let me just get some, clean up some of this stuff. All right, so we've got 2 cards already in hand. What's the best view? We've got 2 cards already in hand. We're going to draw 4 additional. Let's take a look at our hand. We just need to walk over to him and then generate 6 green. All right, we just need 1 yellow to walk over to him. I guess that's going to be this one. And then we just need 6 green. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. That's fine. But there's no real advantage to doing this right away. I wonder if we shouldn't try to get something out. For 6 green and a distress, we can get this card out. That's not really useful to us. All right, I don't think there's anything else for us to get out. So let's just do this. So for 2 yellow, I'm going to waste the yellow, but I'm just going to come over to him. Let's stay in the light. Why not? So I've come over here to talk to this guy face to face. And then I'm going to spend 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, so we have succeeded in contacting him for 6 green. We can now buy influence cards. The way that works, to remind you, is we take the influence market here and we bring out a number of cards to choose from. I think it's 3. I'm just going to say that it is 3. I feel like I want more, but that's okay. Let's see if we can buy anything for 2. Okay. So there's 3 cards we can buy. They're all cost 2, so we could buy any of these. Let me remind you, though, that if we don't buy any of these, we get a bonus. So if we don't want to spend our ether on these, we would gain a gem. Yeah, not by influence cards, but not by items. Okay, so let's see what we've got here. I think we've got plenty of green. I wouldn't mind some red fighting cards, but none of these are red fighting cards. Okay, motivation. We can spend it to draw 2 cards. And if we're in a clover turn, we could draw 4. That's pretty good. Having 2 extra cards is pretty great. Especially since we're normally taking this mask that brings our hand size up to 8. It's a green card. I don't love that. I think we need some more fighting cards. But okay, that's not a bad one. What's this one? So shiny. Discard 2 cards. 1 with red and 1 with yellow. And to gain 3 gems. That's pretty great. I mean, those gems are very useful. They're re-rolls. We've got a bunch of way to generate gems, and I think that's pretty darn useful. They let you take chances that you couldn't normally take. I think I'd be inclined to take this one. But and then let's see. Jonathan says it might buff gems, but also, Jonathan, it's useful because I'm worried that we have too many greens, but this would let us take more chances with reds. So I do like that, although drawing new cards. I guess the reason this is a little less appealing is because it makes us go through cards faster, so... This is, yeah, I like this. Okay, but here is our last option. Uncontrolled flight. Okay, I think we have one of these, don't we? We already have an uncontrolled flight, unless we spent it. Yeah, I think we have this. Lets you move to any space. I mean, that's huge, but I think we already have one. All right, so we are going to purchase So Shiny. That costs us 2 ether, which I'm going to spend. When we purchase it, these we don't get. They go to the back of the pile of influence cards. I think this goes into our discard. But let me just remind myself. Shopping. Place these cards to your personal discard. And the whatever you don't buy goes to the back. Okay. So this So Shiny goes into our discard. Then this happens. He might move. It won't matter. We could go again, but we don't want to. We have this in our hand. If we cared about having cards in our hand, and occasionally, even in Dream World, you might want to, we could try to draw again, but we don't really want to. So we're going to stop right now and get out of this slumber. There's no real point in us prolonging it. Okay, so Dreammonger, he's good. No complaints about him. A little crazy that you have to go through all that. But, all right, so this map stays out. This guy, however, goes to the bottom of the slumber deck, where we're going to get a new one in a second. All right, now, somewhat annoyingly, we have to go back to this world. I should probably map these together. All right, so we went in there. Then we move here. We relocate to Awakening. And we head up here, where we get our second key, and now have to have another slumber. So let's go ahead and do that. Let's see what our next slumber is. The Crying Shadow. All right, have we seen the Crying Shadow before? This one is not nearly as friendly as the other guy. If we haven't seen this, we're going to do it. But we're only going to do these once. But I don't think we have seen a Crying Shadow, have we? Okay, so it's a creature shapeshifter, which, let's see, there's a human shapeshifters, and then there's creature shapeshifters. I guess this guy is a creature shapeshifter. All right, so he comes out on the map. Now, we can assault him to gain an ether. We can spend 2 yellow within the range of 5, so basically anywhere, to put a blue shiny gem on his tile. Or we can contact him and end the slumber. Now, why do we care about the blue shiny gems? Because when he does his blue action, he discards 1. When he does his yellow action, if you haven't put a blue gem on his tile, that mission ends. And when he does his red action, he ends the game if there are none, and then if there are some, he discards 1. Now, if you run out of turns or choose to skip this slumber, you take a flaw and lose all your ether. We don't have any ether, so that's not so bad, but I'd rather not have a flaw. Now, one last little extra rule here. Instead of rolling for movement, he jumps right back. He goes as far away as possible. Okay, so basically what we'd like to do here is just end the slumber as soon as possible. If we get a lot of red, maybe we get an ether before we end it. All right, I feel like we should be able to just end this, right? Now, there's no benefit from being far away from him. So I'm just going to pop us again right here. He's here. And let's take our 2 turn cards. All right. Let's see if we can put a quick end to this guy. So what is he going to do on his turn? First, he's going to move. But instead of rolling, we just move him right to this space. Okay. And then it's gonna end the game if we haven't put a blue gem on his tile. So we're either gonna have to put a blue gem on his tile this turn or end it, or it's gonna auto end for us. And then it's gonna discard. Now, should we be getting the loot? I can't remember. Does it normally say? So if you have a victory, slumber ends. Let me just quickly. Slumber ends. Slumber ends. Gain loot. Okay, if it doesn't say you gain loot, then you don't gain loot. Let me just put these back. I guess they were like this. Is that how they were? Maybe this one was here. Okay, point is we don't get the loot. We don't get this loot when we win this victory. It just says it ends. All right, so we have to draw our hand now. We've run out of cards. So we have to reshuffle. And in the course of doing that, we either have to seal 3 cards or get a distress. We're about to cure 2 distress. So I guess I'd be inclined to just take a distress. Does that sound crazy? I don't like sealing cards. Maybe I should. How many cards? We only have 1 sealed card. I don't want to lose my new good cards. I'm going to take a distress instead. Hopefully I won't regret that. We now have 5 of our maximum of 8, but we're gonna get rid of 2 of these at the start of our next mission. Okay. One, two, three, 4. Okay, now on the top of our deck is this. I want to remind you, this is a huge power to flip these cards, right? I mean, we've got some powerful cards here, don't we? We have a shotgun. So I think we do want to start doing this if we have extra green. Well, let's see if we can't have an extra 3 green soon. And build up our hand. We've got 2 turns to deal with him. We do have to place a blue if we want to have another turn here, which I think we kind of do. So for 2 yellow, we can put a blue gem, which would let us take another turn at this guy. We do have to move. We're not going to be assaulting him, though, because we can't afford the cost. So I think what we have to do is we have to save our green so that we can have our victory. That's 4 green. We're going to move 1 with this. I think what we're going to do is we're going to spend these 2. Yeah, we're going to spend these 2 to put a gem on his space. So, is it a gem? Or is it supposed to be something else? Like, why are they using these gems? Is it a... What is that symbol? Is that the symbol for a gem? Or is... not that it matters, but it's a little crazy that it's using gems for this. Is that a gem? I really can't tell. I'm not sure what else would it be. I guess we can't pick it up though, can we? All right, I'm just gonna put a gem on him. Oh, maybe some other marker besides a gem. What other? But the other generic marker is like a generic threat marker. This one, it's not this. There is a generic clear marker, but surely it's not that. That's a very weird. That's very weird. Maybe it does mean this. Why is it? I mean, this is a generic thing. I don't like this. I don't like this part. All right, so let's use that for that. Okay, and then I'm going to hold on to 3 green here. And we're just doing this so we can get another turn out of it. There's no benefit. We're just using up cards. Are we better off trying to beat this guy? Instead of pulling a gem, are we better off 1, 2, 3, 4, 5? I mean, we would have to roll and hope we get one. We would get 1 re-roll. All right, let's just not overthink it. I'm paying to put the gem on. Now this triggers, he jumps back to this space. This triggers, we would run out of turns if this wasn't here. And then blue triggers, which gets rid of this. Okay, turn 2. This is our last turn to play unless we used extra time, which we don't want to do. So the first thing that would happen when he goes is we'd end the slumber and take a fall, which we don't want to take. 1, 2, 3, 4. The reason we're doing this is hoping we get ahead of this game enough that we can do some extra stuff here. So let's see. One, two, three, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, so we have enough now to end this slumber, this turn, with 1 to spare. Now the question is, whether we want to try to do something else in addition. I don't think we can quite pull it off. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. If we wanted to do this card, though, I think we just go with it. I realize we have the B3 tile in the C3 space. Probably should have cost a little more to move to these enemies. Oh, I see what you're saying. This should be here. Uh-huh, yes, you're quite right. All right, let's not worry about, yeah, but I will fix it though then. Rather than using this for this, I'll fix it now. I'll walk us over to it. So I'm going to spend this to move 2, 1, 2, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So I'll spend one more to move one more closer to him. And then we'll spend our 6 green, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, to contact him to get, oh, you can't see this, to contact him to get victory. Okay, so I spent a bunch of extra movement cards having fixed the problem Jonathan pointed out. Okay, so we couldn't do anything better. We had to use all of our green cards. That's a shame. I wanted to try to use shiny. All right, but we've contacted him and ended this slumber. So not horrible, but kind of pointless. And in the future, we'll just probably skip this. We're trying each slumber once, at least. All right, so he's gone. That slumber is over. We have our 2 keys. We come back now to our world. Thank you for spotting that, Jonathan. All right, now we need to get to our gate to go into our dream of choice. We have 2 ways of getting there. We could go here to this sanctuary and then get a fate and then walk up here. If we choose to do that, we get the sanctuary action, which would let us restore an item, unseal a card, or unflip a progress card. I think we should probably do that, don't you? Rather than spend this to take a shortcut, let's take this opportunity to go into this sanctuary. Oh, it's not connected to the sanctuary. Never mind. We have to take the shortcut. Otherwise, we got to go through a whole bunch of fate. Okay, so straight up through the shortcut, spending this card. Now we are in Metropolis on the dream gate. We are going to go into our dream, and God help us if it needs lots. If we take this stress, let's hope it's an easy one. Okay, to enter we need 2 keys. So we've got those 2 keys. I'm going to go ahead and spend them. Cure 2 distress or unseal top 2 cards. Okay, we definitely want to cure 2 distress. Now we've got 3 distress, not bad. We're going to set this, we're going to get all the cards out, Jonathan, then we'll take a break. Okay, take all 115 secret cards and tiles. Okay, let's go get our 115. There's our 115 tiles. And then the 115 secret cards. Are here. Reveal all 4 setup cards. Okay, so I'm going to shift this out of the way. That's not a bad system. Reveal the setup tiles. Reveal tile X. Spawn a dog. Cards A and B, and then we would read into our introduction, and we have 12 turns. Okay, so let's get all this ready. Then we'll take a little break here. We'll read the introduction on the other side of the break. Okay, 12 card. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. That's all 12. We need our ordinary days, which have no effect, so we'll just leave those out. Okay, 4 setup tiles. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, let's see what we have here. Whoa, that's pretty. Nice daytime dream, huh? Okay, pretty cool. This is our past. There's a dog there somewhere. Tile X, and we're spawning a dog. Ooh, that dog does not look friendly. Use a creature shapeshifter. Are these the people or the creatures? I don't know why. I don't know why I should care. But we do have a cat and a penguin, though, so it seems to me the human shapeshifter. No, that's a human shapeshifter. Boy, they look pretty similar. Creature shapeshifters. There's no dog, though. I don't really understand some of the choices this game has made, to be honest. Like, why is a dog being represented by this creature? It's a weird choice. Okay, he spawns. There's only one place to spawn him. That's right there. Are we better off using these? Those aren't really... I'm not sure I really understand how this game wants you to think about these creatures. I guess there's no tokens for these. Okay, anyway, we've spawned the dog, which doesn't look like a dog. Reveal cards A and B. Okay, let's look at what cards A and B are. Levers. This card is active until this stream ends. When you're in a space with a lever, you can throw it. Rotate the tile indicated by the arrow 90 or 180 degrees. If the arrow isn't pointing at any tile, you may rotate the tile you are on. Rotate the tile indicated the arrow. Okay, so if you're on a space with a lever and it's pointing to something, then you're rotating the other tile. If it doesn't have an arrow, you're rotating the tile you're on. And then you become dazed, which we've never seen before. We'll have to look up what that modifier is. And then the B card tells us about bones. If you're in a space with dog and bones, you can spend 8 green influence to tame the dog. Discard the dog, place a story token in that space, gain card 241A. If any dog was tamed, don't spawn any more dogs during this dream. Okay, very cool. This is what I want to see in Dream. Like, I want to see a way for us to avoid having to fight these creatures. So we can try to tame a dog. There has to be a bone on his space. So I see there's a whole bunch of spaces with bones. Not where the dog currently is, though. And levers to rotate things. Okay, we are spawning here. Pretty safe. In fact, the dog can't get to us at this current point. Interesting. Let's just take a look at these dogs here for a second. So for 3 combat or whatever that's called, we can kill the dog and we put a little blue gem, generic gem, why is it blue, I don't know, on his tile. When there are 3, a wolfling comes into the slumber deck. That doesn't sound desirable. And then here's something that makes him spawn. Makes us suffer a distress or get paralyzed. So the dogs can daze us and paralyze us. Now, before we move along, let me just remind you of these to keep your eye open. I don't see any, but actually, you know, I forgot that Ghost Drive, who's here, found one more of these that we missed while we were in the train yard. I don't know if it's this one here. This was on the back of the train cards. So I think maybe we should not do this one now, but remember that when we go back to the dream, maybe I'll put it, it's a little risky here. Maybe I'll put it over here so we don't forget. We could read this now, but maybe we'll read it later. All right, so we've got dogs. We've got a way to tame the dog. And what are we trying to do? We haven't read the back of this yet. Okay, we're going to read our introduction, and then let's take a look at what this says. The goal is to find the way out or in. If you achieve victory in this dream and there are no dogs on the dreamscape, one dreamer gains card G, and the rest of the dreamers gain 1 ether each. We certainly feels like we want to tame this dog. Maybe we're going to get a dog companion to travel around with. Whenever you reveal a new space, spawn a dog. Okay, so and if we draw a new card out and it's got a spawn space, a dog comes out. 12 turns, and if we don't finish this with a victory, the wolfling is going to haunt us. You may look at the wolfling tile during this dream if you want to know what is waiting. Okay. All right. This seems like a pretty cool dream. I'm happy that it's in daytime. When we come back, we'll look more in detail at these tiles. We'll see if maybe we can recognize anything. It wouldn't be surprising if this is a trip to our past. It wouldn't be surprising if it stirred some memories in us. These two look like candidates. All right, we'll take a break. We'll come back in 8 minutes. We'll bring out the penguin and the cat to help us tame this dog. I think we're going to be okay. I'll see you in 8 minutes. Before we get started with this stream, I want to remind us something that we kind of forgot in the last one. We've got a cat and we've got a penguin. They're both sitting right here. A flying cat and a penguin. Okay, so what do? The cat, you just stick him out right when you start a dream, and you can move him when you want, and you can interdimensionally tunnel to him. It's a way to travel further. So he doesn't do anything. We'll just stick him out here for now. The penguin is a little more interesting. The penguin can be summoned. Takes 6 green to summon him, or you spend an ether. We don't happen to have any ether at the moment. And we summon him. He spawns, this cute little penguin guy. And we draw one of these penguin cards. So each penguin that we summon, we don't know which one we're going to get from this interdimensional rift. But the bad guys come after him. No, that's not right. Depending on his card, sometimes we've met some penguins that the bad guys come after, but they all have their own abilities. So let's remember to consider bringing the penguin out. Let's also remember to use our items, re-roll the die once per turn for free, or restore an item, and then birds, which lets us place a progress card for free, which is pretty good. Or we could use this as 4 green influence, which is huge. So let's remember that. Okay, cat goes away. Now, let's look at our world here. We're starting out trapped in this corner. However, there is a lever here that points to this tile. So we could pull this lever and rotate this 90 degrees clockwise, or 90 degrees counterclockwise, or 180 degrees. So basically you can rotate it any way you want. Why is it written so weirdly? Like you could do 90, you could do 180. You can't do 270, but couldn't you just do 270 this way? No, it feels like you could rotate it any way you want. A weird way that rule is phrased. All right. So I think, though, this mission, we should tame that dog as soon as possible. But let's just look at what else is here before we go. So we've got a dog. We've got bones. We have to tame a dog on a bone space. Let's remember that. But look, there's another story here. Someone's leaning out of the hole. So we can interact with that person. And I suppose we need to read our introduction first. I don't even know why I'm doing this. Let's read our introduction to this mission. 901. Memories can be difficult and dark, as well as sunny and soothing. They are like medicine. Some poison us, others can heal. The art of moving within them is no less valuable than the art of walking on the ground in this world. Sunny days, picnic on the edge of the forest, but I remember the maze in the garden the most. We stand in a queue to get into the park. The sun is burning in the sky. A light, pleasant breeze soothes the stinging heat. We go through the gate. What can I say? It's beautiful here. It always has been. Well, if it weren't for these troublesome dogs. So a maze in the garden. All right, back to our thing. So in this space, there's someone sticking their head out of a hole. Then to our right here, where we can't quite get to, there's someone to talk to at the fountain. More dog bones and a lever, and then a little tunnel entrance downward. Then over here, we have someone else to talk to near the lever, whatever that means. a lever that modifies the tile north of it. And then lastly, this tile, a lever, two levers. No one else to interact with. Okay. So it seems to me that what we're going to do is, obviously the only thing we can do at this point is use this lever to rotate this tile. But it seems to me that if we want to tame that dog as soon as possible, we should just rotate this tile like this, then walk here, rotate this, use this lever to rotate this tile, and bring this, let this dog come meet us. The sooner the better. So that seems like what we're going to do. Okay, we've got our turn cards. Our first turn card is this. The dog's going to move. Then he's going to, if we're in range, bite us and we'll suffer a distress. And then he's going to morph, which sucks. So I'd really, if he morphs, he spawns a dog. So a new dog will come out, I guess. So if we tame a dog, what happens to the other dogs? Discard the dog. Don't spawn any others. I don't know if that means two dogs would... One would still come after us. I'm not sure. All right, let's take our turn. Here's our 4 cards. I mean, if we could, it might be worth expending some stuff to get rid of that dog, but we're not going to be able to tame the dog this turn. Okay, let's see what we've got here. So to use the lever, we need 3 yellow or 3 red. 1, 2, 3. There's our 3 yellow. This card is not very useful for most things. We could try to flip one of these cards. I mean, shotgun. Yeah, I mean, that's a good card. To tame the dog, we need 8 green. All right, so we're going to have to hold on to our greens. We're probably going to end up using this for those greens to tame the dog, because 4 green's hard to do. All right, let's go ahead and flip this tile for 3. 3 yellow. Use the lever to flip this tile. Is there any reason we wouldn't want to flip it this way? No, I think that's the way to do it. Okay. Now, the dog moves. Because we're done. We're just going to hold on to this 2 green. We've flipped this tile, so we're going to be able to walk onto it on our next turn. But not yet. Okay, so now there's an interesting rule subtlety here. The dog is supposed to move. We're supposed to roll his thing. This means he moves according to his rules. Where is the dog? Here. Okay, so he would move 3. There is a weird rule, though, which is that, like, if he doesn't have a path to you, which he doesn't now because of the wall, I don't think he moves at all. But that doesn't really make sense to me. It seems like he would try to get close to us. So I'm going to let him move one space closer to us. And we could choose to move him here, but he maybe he's not supposed to move at all. Well, I'm not sure. Okay, then his basic effect triggers, which is each dreamer in range suffers 1, but we're not in range. We're protected by this wall. But then something weird happens. We spawn a new dog. So I guess we are meant to spawn yet another dog here. Now, even if this guy hadn't moved, this other dog could have still spawned on his space. We're going to have to decide how we're going to rule this. When we tame one dog, do we still have to kill the other dog? I'm not sure about that. Okay, so that turn is done. Now it's our next turn. 1, 2, 3, 4. Well, I guess we're going to need the yellow to turn the dial, but we're going to need green to tame him. It's a little scary. What's our next turn going to be? First, a new dog is going to spawn. Then the range of 2, we're going to get paralyzed. That's going to be pretty dangerous for us. Unless we walk away from him. We really don't want to walk away. And then he's going to move. We're really getting unfortunate with all these dogs. Nice to be able to push him or pull him. All right, well, we may need to be able to prepare to play this unless we'll get paralyzed. Let's look up what paralyzed is. Paralyzed means you can't move or relocate until the end of the turn. Okay, well, that might not be the worst thing for us if we're planning to tame this guy anyway. Maybe he paralyzes us, but we plan to stand there anyway. Okay. So let's make our moves here. We're going to walk over to this space and then use this lever to turn this guy. He's standing on bones, so we could actually go tame him if we had 8 green. We have 7 green. If we use an item, 2, 3 plus 4 is 7. If we had enough gems to re-roll, I think the thing to do, since it's so important for us to tame this creature, if 3 dogs come out the slumber? No, is that right? No, it's only if you're out of turns does that happen. Okay, so I think maybe this is what we do. I think we use maybe You know what? Maybe we don't turn this dial yet. I think maybe what we do is we spend this card to move here. Now, I was planning on flipping this card and then trying to tame this dog right now. But because our hand size is 8, I think maybe the thing to do is wait one more turn. And then we'll turn the dial and walk right over. Yeah, that's the thing to do. All right. If you eliminate 3 dogs through force, it adds the wolfling. Where did it say that? Is it on this card? Where is the part? On the dog card. Oh, on the dog card. When there are 3, if you kill a dog 3 times, the wolfling comes out. Okay, let's not kill 3 dogs. All right, so we're going to end our turn here. Then this is going to trigger. The blue action is going to trigger, which spawns a new dog. That's the maximum number of dogs that can be out. But I think we're going to tame all these dogs at one time. Then the red effect happens. If we're in range, we would suffer distress. We're not within range. Can't reach us even if they were closer. And then they're going to roll to move. Okay, they all move their amount, which they're all going to pile up right here. And this turn is over. The next turn is going to see them within range. That's terrible. And then they're going to paralyze us, and then they're going to move, but no new dog is going to spawn. It's okay, they can't spawn anyway. Okay, here we go. Now is when we're going to pull our maneuver. 4 new cards. Okay, lots of green. It's actually not ideal that we didn't get more yellow because we would like to hightail it out of there, I think, and we are going to have to move, but I think we're going to have enough. So let's see what we can do here. We're going to spend... Boy, we're not going to be able to move. That's pretty bad. Let's see what else we could do here. Steal this card to draw 3. Find the pattern. Or return this card to the influence market. That's pretty cute. All right, well, I think maybe 2, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So we're going to be able to tame the dog without using our item, which is nice. The only bad thing is, how are we going to move over to that space? Because we need 3 to pull the lever, and then we're going to need 1 to walk over. And boy, would I love to keep this steam bomb. I don't think that's possible. We're gonna have to be able to walk over there. Now we do have item we can use to walk. Boy, that's a wasteful use of an item though. We could take a chance and roll the die, but if we messed up, we would have 2 chances to re-roll. I suppose if we messed up, we could seal this to draw 3 cards, so it's not the end of the world. We're definitely going to tame this dog now. It's just a matter of whether we try to do it cheap by rolling the luck die. What if we don't do it this turn? What if we don't do it this turn? What's the harm? They try to come out, they can't get us. So this is this weird thing. Yeah. This is this weird thing where perhaps I suppose the other thing to think about though is we don't have all the time in the world. We have to explore this area. We have stuff we want to do. But what if we left them here for one more turn? What if we left them here for one more turn? All right, so here's what we're going to do. We're going to leave them there for one more turn. We're going to try to be a little bit clever here. I need to drop down my hand so I can draw more cards. So I'm going to spend these 2 extra greens for 3 to trigger the action on the back of my card, which says for 3 green, we can unflip one of our cards. So I'm going to discard this card, and I'm going to spend the 3 green in order to flip this assistant. And then I'm going to use that. I'm going to flip this card to place the steam bomb, which is going to help us in the future. I'm going to keep this card on, and I'm going to draw 3 more cards. Okay, so now this triggers. That's the end of our turn here. Basic effect is they hurt us if we're in range, and then they hurt us, they paralyze us if we're in range, and then they move, but they can't move. So this turn is over. We may need to use some hours on this dream. Okay, here we go. Red is going to trigger, then basic, and then roll. Okay, so still no more spawning. That's good. But we're going to be able to take care of them this round anyway. So 1, 2. We're out of cards, so I have to shuffle. Do I want to seal or take another distress? I'm going to take another distress here. We're at 4 distress. A little scary, but I think we're going to be able to do this when we tame these dogs. But we still have other stuff to do on this map. This is taking us a long time to... Why do we want to eliminate the dogs until we have a better idea of our goal? You mean, why am I even bothering trying to befriend them now? An interesting thought. I feel like we're going to have to start rotating and getting onto this card, and it may be hard for us to coordinate this other than right now. All right, so I think we got what we needed here. So for 3, I'm going to spin this lever. All the dogs are coming here. I know there's, well, there's the dogs, they're on a bone. Let's do it this way. In fact, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to spend the 3 red to spin that. Weavers, you can use 3 red or 3 yellow. Okay, so now we can get on there and get away if we wanted to. Okay, so I'm going to use 1 to walk right into the heart of this dog. Pound, this bunch of dogs. And then we're going to, for 8, we're on a space with a dog and bones, and there's our 8 that we're able to spend without using our item. So we've now tamed the dog. Now, it does seem like it's just 1 dog that we're taming, but I am going to start role-playing this game, and it feels to me like if all the dogs are here, I feel like we can tame them all in 1 action. I realize that that's not exactly clear in the rules, but I think I am adopting for this game a dream logic, and I think in such a world, if you can convince yourself it makes sense and it seems thematically appropriate, then I think it makes sense that we're taming all these dogs at once. So let's go for it. Okay, so we're spending our 8. We're discarding the dogs. We're taming all 3 at once. Put a story token in that space. Now, what is a story token? Not that it really matters, but what is a story token? The story tokens are the letters. Okay, that's fine, but it doesn't tell us what letter to use. Maybe it doesn't matter. All right, so I'm going to put a little story token there. And we're going to read this card. Let's see, maybe the card is going to tell us all the dogs go away anyway. 241A. Oh, 241A, that's a whole different card. Okay, let's see what we've got. You may use this note card only during the dog's slumber. Good boy. If you haven't performed any assault actions in this slumber, you may spend 5 contact to just end the slumber. So on our next slumber, if there's a dog, I see. You can only use it once. Remove the dog's slumber. So only during the dog's slumber. Okay, so if we have a dog's slumber, we can use this to get out of it by making friends with the dog. Okay, that's a little note card for us. Okay, I have removed the other dogs. I think thematically that makes sense. You might disagree with me. So, because we have made friends with the dog, if any dog was tamed, don't spawn any more dogs. Okay, so we're friends with all the dogs. It makes sense. I mean, if no more dogs are coming out, clearly we've made friends with all the dogs. So now we can relax a little bit here, but now let's decide what we want to do. We've eaten up a bunch of turns. However, we could walk over here and have this little encounter. There's a lot of green here. I don't know if this is going to work. Not quite. Got a little confused there. Someone is here. So we could go there. I wouldn't be surprised if it didn't let us tunnel through. Or it could bring out more bad guys. Now we need to get out of here, huh? Well, it seems to me that if we're ever going to go here, we should go here now, because it's the opposite of where we want to eventually end up. So I think maybe we should do that now. Look at this progress card. I'm not sure we've ever seen this before. Your hand size limit is increased by 1, and it's a progress card. So I think what we're going to do is we're going to use this now. We're going to use the birds item to place this progress card for free. I mean, maybe I shouldn't use it now. We don't need it right now, but I am going to do it. Instead of generating 5, you know what? I don't need it now. Let me wait, because if we get an extra 5 we don't need, I'll use that. All right, next turn. So this triggers, there's nothing to do. Here's our next turn. No dogs are coming out, so we're safe. Here's our 4 cards in our hand. The cat is here with us, I guess. We could send him and then walk over to him. Not that useful. We need 3 yellow to get where we want to go. Uncontrolled flight. Maybe we should start using uncontrolled flight. Move 3 spaces, relocate to any space. That's amazing, that card. Surely we should try it, huh? But we only need to move 2 spaces. All right, let's do this. Let's move for 1. Let's use our shining gem, which lets us get our shining card that lets us get, oh no, we can't use, yeah, we're going to use this instead of moving to get another gem. We're going to stock up on these gems a little bit. Now we have 2 of them. And then we're going to move once more with this because well, I'd love to actually hold on to this and use it to jump out of here. Maybe there's no reason to finish this up on this turn. Can't really do that anyway. Okay, so I'm going to just do that. This goes off. We don't care. Our next turn. I'm going to draw more cards. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, now hopefully we can do both of these things. All right, we're going to need 5 green to do this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We need 1 movement. Okay, so there's our movement. Now we need 5 to pull this lever, to talk to this encounter. We have a bunch of rerolls now. But I guess I'm not going to use that. Okay, so there's 4. I'm going to roll the luck die to get the extra one and use my rerolls as needed. Okay, so that's enough. That's our 5. Let's read this card. 613. Someone's leaning out of a hole. In this part of the park lies a lot of rubbish. Cobwebs obstruct the path. So, what are you staring at? The dirty head turns away, losing interest in us. Oh no, nothing. Sorry, but what is this? I have no time for this. I'm working. He interrupts sharply. Take a look around instead. Just go left, left, right, left, or whatever. You'll definitely find the path. Give me a break. And we feel smaller and smaller with each gruff word from this grim man, like children who have been shouted at just because they're children. Reveal card C. We may take advantage of our smaller stature and peek into one of the dens. You can discard 1 gem to resolve 634. Okay, let's reveal card C first. See if we can figure out what on earth is going on. Okay, so it's a modification of our map. Now we can look into the underground garage, and it's a spawn point. So where does this go? Okay, so there was this hole, and now this is turning into this. So now there's actually a way to go in there. But it also says that we can discard a gem to peek into one of the dens. I mean, we have 2 gems, so it seems like we should do that. Okay, let's go ahead and do that. I'm going to spend 1 of the gems, and we are going to read 634. The tunnel twists and bends and seems without end. We suddenly realize it is no longer a common earth-filled den, and we're now surrounded by a paved, checkered black and white floor and blue walls. Keeps getting narrower, though. We cannot go further unless we can spend another gem. How do you feel about this? In for a penny, in for a pound, says Jonathan. Okay, here's our second. We only have 2, though. Okay, the underground... Wow, this is pretty irritating. The underground corridor ends at a solid oaken door. We try to open it, heaving with all our might, stuck fast. Maybe if we weren't so small at this very moment, we think to ourselves. If you have the blue key, remove it from the game. Otherwise, go back to the exit. What is the exit? We don't know, but it seems like it's just wasted two of our most precious resources for no reason. All right. All right. Yes, if there's a question, you can go ahead and ask it whenever you want. That was pretty ridiculous. I'm just going to write down here the instructions on 613. Left, left, right, left. I mean, that's a pretty bad game design element, but let's not worry about it. So apparently we left 2 gems. Maybe if we have to go back here, we'll steal these 2 again, but that was kind of ridiculous. All right, was there a question? Am I correct in understanding after taming, no more dogs will appear? Therefore, the dog rule of whenever you kill 3 dogs, add something to the slumber can't be applied. Does that mean the one-time use card gained earlier can no longer be used? That's a good question. You mean the one-time good boy? I assume that it's still gonna have a dog slumber card come out, but maybe not. It's a good point. I don't know. I don't know. It depends when we finish this mission if it's still going to add a dog slumber or not. But now we've gotten this pretty ridiculous, depressing waste of many actions and turns here. So here we are back again. All right, so now we've lost our ability to reroll, which really sucks because that's how we were going to use this nice flight thing. So I think we are going to, although here's a 1 reroll. Relocate 3 spaces, 1, 2, 3. Well, I might as well draw a new hand. There's a weird thing here about taking turns, ending a turn when you can take all the cards. All right, no dogs come out. Here's our next turn, drawing 4 more cards. Not very useful, but plenty of yellow to walk around. I'd really rather use this to do a large move, but I'd love to get this one out. There's 4 movement. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, let's do our 4 movement with these. Although, yeah, we could rotate this tile, but we're blocked in here. So I don't think we're gonna do that. Huh, okay, hold on, before I do this. So we're here. So if we wanted to get into here, how do we do that? I suppose we can do it from this. So we have two ways to get into this area if we want to. We could either come here and rotate this so that we can get into it this way. Or we could rotate this tile but I think it's hard to help us get into, it's going to be hard to let it do here. So I think we're still on the right track. There's 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Then I think we're going to try to pull this lever for 3. And let's see what happens when we do that. Someone's here, S817. Use the flying cat. If we had those gems, I would have happily used uncontrolled flight when I could re-roll it, but we had to spend them all doing nothing. We pass by a family that's already heading toward the exit. The husband looks towards us with a proud look that mockingly says, "I've seen everything here, first before you." He remarks to his wife, but loud enough so we can hear, "I like the car in the underground garage the best. Gorgeous, first class." There's a car in the underground garage. That sounds like what we want. And we've now got 3 gems. 3 blue gems. That's nice. Or 1. Sure looked like 3 to me, but it's only 1. 3 would be more reasonable. Okay, so underground garage, which is here. So it does seem like maybe we can just get ourselves into there. Although the blue key was something I wanted. Now we have 2 rerolls. I wonder if we shouldn't try to use this to go 1, 2, 3, 4 spaces. All right, let's try it. We've got a reroll, and we've got a reroll, and we've got a reroll. So we're going to try to use uncontrolled flight to get ourselves over to here. So here we go. We trigger uncontrolled flight, and we roll the luck die. And it's a 3, which is relocate to any space. So that's perfect. We didn't have to use any of our rerolls. Now, given that we can go anywhere, is there any place better that's further away? No. We want to go 1, 2, 3, 4. We don't even have to move. We just jump here. Okay, that was pretty nice. Now, we have 2 yellow. We could pull this lever right now with the roll of the die, but I'm not sure there's any real advantage to that. Why take a chance since we can hold the cards? Okay, we're going to move to the next turn. 1, 2, 3. We're out of cards. We have to reshuffle. I think we can't. Can we afford to take another distress? I don't feel like we really can. But there's no more bad people causing us distress. All right, I'm going to take another distress on the assumption that we're not doing much more fighting here. We could have just gone straight to the underground with uncontrolled flight. Oh, that's an interesting idea. That's an interesting idea. That's an interesting idea. relocate to any space. All right, let me do this. And then before we do this, I think maybe Jonathan has the right idea here. Let's look up the rules about relocating. I believe we can relocate right inside there, but let's find. I know there is a... Relocating means moving to another space, ignoring range, walls, and any other obstacles, much like teleportation. Ah, I see. And JD Ethics was saying, that's why I mentioned the flying cat as well. He's always in the spawn space. So actually the flying cat is here too. So we could have also teleported into that space, that spawn space. Clever. Okay, well, let's use Jonathan's approach. We're going to go right in here. Now, the only downside is we don't meet this person with the lever. But I still think it's worth it. That could be bad for all we know. Okay, so we're teleporting straight into here instead of down here. We've got our new cards. And we need 5 green. 2, 3, 4. Okay, but we've got abilities to re-roll. We could seal this for 3. Okay, let's use this first to gain a blue gem because we're in a spawn spot. So there's that. We gain another blue gem. Now we've got 3 re-rolls if we need it. Okay, so let's spend, or we could seal this. This is spent. Okay, so that's 4 green. I don't want to have to seal it. I'm hoping we don't need more gems. So let's try to roll 1 extra one, knowing that we have 3 re-rolls. Okay, here we go. Okay, that's a nothing. And we're going to spend that to re-roll. That's 3. That's funny. Okay, so we've triggered the underground garage, which says, look into the underground garage. We've spent 5, so let's go ahead and 701. The garage is incredibly vast. Instead of lamps, light streams in through rows of colorful skylights. Peering through one of them, we glimpse a fragment of the maze that we have not yet seen. Reveal card D. A beautiful blue car stands on a large rotating pedestal. It's for sale. If this is an old dream, you can discard to ether. Note, which type of dream this is written on the Dreamgate tile. So this is the first time you will be in the new version of the dream. Okay, so we're not going to get that card. All right, there's some statement that I've done something wrong. Let's see. In case forgotten, if you need a gem, just discard 3 cards. Oh, thank you. I did forget that. Okay. I think the Little Devils requires paying a green to use it. I see what you're saying. It does require paying a green to use it. So what we'll do is we'll undo that. We'll not use that. Instead, I'll have used my blue gem to reroll. That's fine. Okay, so we're not going to be able to buy that car, but the map has changed. Unfortunately, oh, right, it hasn't changed yet. Okay, so the instructions just told us to reveal card D, which is here. So let's see. So we can't buy it, but we'll be able to buy it if we come back. All right, so we've got this overlay was already out, and now we have a new overlay with something interesting. Okay, B2. So this overlay is going right here. Now, that is problematic because the only way to rotate this card is from here. So we're going to have to get back to here to rotate this card and then come all the way back. No, we can rotate this from here. So if we rotate it once, we can't get to it. But if we rotate it twice, we'll be able to get to this. Okay, we're okay. We're okay. We are here. Okay, that's fine. We'll go to here, we'll rotate this, we'll walk into this space. All right, we're fine. End of turn. We may need to use some of our hours. Our distress is also coming from every time I recycle this deck here. Every time we run out of draw cards and I have to reshuffle, we've been adding a distress. So that's why we've got a whole bunch of them. Well, I wanted other than green. Okay, so we're gonna have to walk over here. And now we need to pull this lever with 3 yellow or 3 red. I'm a little bit worried about running out of time now. Seal this card to draw 3 cards. Feels like I'm going to go ahead and do that. I'm going to seal this card. I'm going to draw 3 more cards. 1, 2, 3. I do want to use this. That's why I've tried to draw more cards. So I could use the shiny. I could use this for shiny to get 3 gems, and then we can start taking more chances. Let's do that. We're going to discard these 2 cards, one with yellow, one with red, to get 3 gems, which is pretty fun. Okay, now we can do a bunch of re-rolling. We can take chances more. So we're going to spend these. We're going to spend these 3 to do the rotate action. Although we can afford to do more rerolls. Did I throw out? Oh, we didn't. We actually note that. Well, I guess we do have to use this So Shiny card to generate that. I'm a little bit worried about time, so here's what we're going to do. We're going to use this 2 to pull this lever, and I'm going to take a chance. So we'll roll this. It's nothing. I'm going to have to spend a gem. That's 2. That's enough. So we've rotated this. We're going to rotate it once and twice like this. Okay, now we have access to this area. I'm a little bit worried about being able to afford this 5 green. We're certainly not going to do it this turn. So maybe the thing to do is not do anything more. Wait another turn. Thankfully, there's no more dogs coming out. Okay, now we've got our next turn. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, that's good. We've got enough green to do this. In fact, it might be time just to get this placed. Okay, we can't afford to seal any more cards, I don't think, because we're going to have to seal more anyway. So I'm going to use 1 to walk over to here. And then we're going to use 5 green to do this action here. There is something interesting here, 343. Okay, so let's see how we're going to generate those 5 green. We could just spend it. 3, 4, 5. Maybe we should spend it. We don't know if we're going to need those gems. 2, 3, 4. Let's just spend 5. I'd rather have some more gems. I don't know how soon this is ending. Okay, 343. I've spent 5. Let's see what script we got. We think we found the exit we're looking for. Reveal card E. You may place it so it connects to any exit leading out of the park. The tile to which you add card E can no longer be rotated. You will see that on the newly placed card, there is a blue box with the words spawn dogs in each space. This is a flying rule, and this is resolved immediately when the card is placed. If there was an action in this box, you may perform it regardless of range. Okay, fine. Card E, let's see. So it's a flying rule. We would do it right now, but the dogs don't spawn anymore, so we're gonna ignore that. Now, we can go through the gate and exit, presumably. What was the rule about where we can place this? You may place it so it connects to any exit out of the park. So I guess what it's suggesting is that, like, we could put it here, or here, or here, or here. Now we're on this space, so we're going to have to get out of here. So I think the thing is going to be to rotate this tile from here so that the dog entry is there. which, oops. Why does this story thing here? But that is not an exit yet. So how are we going to get out as fast as possible? And then you can't rotate the tile you put it on again. Put it on a tile. You can't rotate that tile anymore. So I think the fastest way out is probably to put it here and then rotate this tile, and then we'll be able to go up, right, and like that. And I suppose if we can get our teleport, we won't even need that. But I think that's going to be the solution for us. Does anyone object to that? Is it clear what I'm suggesting? We're going to put it here, then we're going to use this to rotate this tile like this, and then we're going to go like that. Okay, so I'm putting it here. We can't rotate this tile anymore, but that's okay. I think that's the way to go. Do you think the last interaction we haven't done yet might give us the blue key, or do you think we have to come back as an old dream with the blue key? That's what I think. I don't think this guy... I think this person near the lever is more likely to give us a useless blue gem that we don't need. Okay, we're going to end our turn here. I think we may have to use one of our hours. Maybe not. Okay. Next turn. 1, 2, 3, 4. We're going to run out of cards soon and have to steal something, which sucks, but those are the breaks. Pocket ladder, but it's not dark, so we're not going to be able to use that. Shiny gem, we don't really need any gems. Progress card for Delta phase we don't need, but I wouldn't mind getting this one out. All of this green, huh? I think we are going to use this green for something. Okay, so here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to try to get this out before this dream ends, rather than spending it if we can possibly help it. So I'm going to use this as my 2 yellow. We need 3 yellow to do this, so I'm going to try to roll my way out of this. Okay, so that's a success. That got spent to rotate this tile with the cat on it this way. Now we are well on our way out. We are going to need 5 green to get out, so let's remember that. Okay, now we need to get over there. How are we going to do that? We don't have yellow. I mean, we do have yellow, but I don't want to spend it. We still have a little bit of time. Not much, though. We could use our birds to walk out of there, but I feel like... What I'd like to do is hold on to enough green to solve this while still doing this. So I'm tempted to use this to flip the card that will let us bring out this card for free. Am I pushing my luck too much? We only have one more turn after this, but I think we'll probably use one of our clock hours to do it. We do have a modifier. There's a limit to the progress cards you can play unless you have a modifier that lets you increase it. Yes, that's a very fair point, but we do have one. It's right here. It's the builder that increases it to 2. So normally we have a limit of 4, but with this we have a limit of 6. So the question is, do I want to spend this green to get this out? It's not really being punished for it. So I am going to do this. I'm going to discard this card and unflip one card of any dreamer. So I'm discarding this. I'm spending these. You know what? I'm going to spend. No, I want to save the rolling. I want to spend both these cards, so I don't need the greens. And then I'm going to flip the assistant. And then we're going to place this analysis card. Well, I guess we don't have to decide that yet. Okay, now we have to shuffle again. It's our last turn unless we use a clock, which I think we're probably going to need to do. We have to shuffle. We have to do cards. I'm afraid to take another distress, but I'm also afraid to seal 3 cards. I think we're going to go all in on this distress and then... Well, you know, this is a really weird thing about this game. Like, I'm building up this stuff, but if we sleep, then I lose it all. So if I'm planning to sleep, I should stop doing this. But if I stop doing this, then we don't need to sleep. So I guess I'm going to seal 3 cards instead this time because I'm afraid to take any more distress. I hope we didn't seal the card that lets us transport. We didn't. I'm not sure how I feel about this whole resetting when you sleep. But okay. I guess the trick is to try not to have to sleep. Okay, here's our next. If we wanted to, we could discard 3 to charge up our steam bomb, but I don't think we can afford that anymore. It's time for us to get out of here on this turn if we possibly can. Okay, there's the card we were looking for. So we're going to try to use uncontrolled flight 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 to move 5 spaces if we possibly can. Okay, so uncontrolled flight. Now we're going to roll this die. It's a 3, so we actually did relocate. We could have actually done that instead of rotating this whole tile, but okay, let's not worry about that. We didn't know we were going to get it. So we're going to relocate all the way to there. This gets spent. That's an amazing card, uncontrolled flight. I'd like to get a couple more of those, maybe. All right, now we're going to do the 5, but before we do, we're going to use the assistant to get out analysis up here to increase our hand size. We're going to spend a gem to do that instead of flipping the assistant. We have another progress card we could get out, but it's Delta Phase. I mean, how soon is delta phase? Because actually, it's coming up pretty quickly, and two options would allow us to two actions would allow us to heal. Okay, you know what we're gonna do? We're gonna put this progress card out. Instead of paying 6 for it, we're gonna do the assistant again. Since we don't need any more gems. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Actually, we have as many as we can have out. So why don't we flip the assistant to get that out? That will help us heal better. And now we just need 5 green, which I'm just checking if there are any that can be used on the Dreamscape map. Whoa, cure all your distress. It's a one-time use. Okay, let's hold on to that, because then we might go into a next dream and just keep all that distress. Okay, and there's our 5. All right, let's see if this ends this dream. Go through the gate, 543. I mean, you have to assume that this is going to be the end of the dream. With our dog, we go through the gate. Check your dream gate tile to see whether you entered the gateway to the new dream or the old dream. Okay, so this was the new dream. That's what the red are. If you finished the new dream, 590, 507. Okay, here we go. All this roaming and searching for meaning was all for nothing? But isn't that what life is all about? Fundamentally, searching. Is searching all there is? We're standing in front of maps for the neighborhood and the city. Wait a minute, that's unusual. 2 different places share the same name. Your home. The roads to each of them cross a place called Swamp Mill. We can't shake the feeling this means something, especially in this strange world. It might be prudent to take note of everything carefully. Victory. Each dreamer gains 1 ether. Okay. There's our ether. Next, gain tile Y, Profundum Dream World map tile. Okay, so we discovered a new Dream World area. Profundum. Cool. Okay. What else? Gain tile 239D. Wait, who lives in my house? It's a Dreamgate tile. And 239H, the mystery of Swamp Mill. And 240A, Homecoming. This is a special Dreamgate tile which opens the campaign's epilogue. Notice that to open it, you use silver keys instead of the usual ones. If you don't know about them yet, be patient. You'll find them, but not soon. Okay, this to me is the coolest part of this game, how open world it is. I am not used to this in campaign games where there's so many choosing the order you want to do. Okay, so let's get these out. 239. Do you want to, why don't we take a break? We'll come back and we'll finish doing the wrap up of this dream. Congratulations to all of us. You're dreaming. Any progress you make happens while dreaming. When you awaken, all that progress from the dream is gone. It does make sense. Okay, we'll be back in 8 minutes to read the final parts of this dream and organize our stuff. I'll see you in 8 minutes. All right, we're back to wrap up this dream called I'll Never Forget Those Sunshine Days. All right, let's follow the instructions again. Each dreamer gains an ether. We did that. Each dreamer cures 2 or unseals 2. Okay. Now, a natural thing to do would be to cure 2. I guess that's sort of depends if we're going to... You're sort of incentivized to let 1 get out of control, but okay, let's cure 2. This is what's going to kill us. So I'm going to cure these 2, although... Okay, we don't have anything super important that we need in our sealed cards, so I'm going to cure 2. Gain tile Y, that's the new map tile from the Dreamscape world. Okay. I'll put that out. Gain tile 239D. Wait, who lives in my house? A new dream. 239H, the mystery of Swamp Mill. One's in Profundum, one's in Suburbia. 240A, Homecoming. Epilogue of the first campaign. So we get this epilogue here, but the game tells us you need silver keys to go to it. So this sounds like it's what's going to trigger the end of the whole campaign, but we're not going to get silver keys for a long time, but it's giving us a little bit of foreshadowing, anticipation. Now we're supposed to add 37U, the dogs, to the slumber deck. So the question of whether we're going to need that good boy card is yes, because it goes on the bottom. Let me just, I guess it doesn't matter what order they go in. Okay. And now we've got card J, Shining Gem Wisdom card. Okay, a new Wisdom card. Let's see what this is. Shining Gems. You may always discard 1 Shining Gem to gain 1 chosen effect. You can re-roll any roll. That's what it used to do. But now we can also discard a gem to gain 2 green, 2 red, or 2 yellow. And we can also discard an ether or a key to get a gem. I don't know if that's normal. Normally we can discard 3 influence cards to get a gem. Now we have new ways to get a gem. Yes, that is going to be helpful, especially since we have cards that make gems now, which I love. Okay, so we got new wisdom for making gems. What else? If there are no dogs in the Dreamscape, a little bit of cheating there, but thematically worked for me. And card G is still in the secrets, which it is. We never discovered G. So 1 person gains it. So here is G. What is G? The progress card. Cheat to put out 3. It's called Tactics. We have to come up with a plan. During an assault, your current action affects all entities in range. So you build this card, and now whenever you do an assault, you can attack multiple people. That's pretty cool. Yeah, that's useful. He's got like a secret thing in his pocket. Are any of these triggering any of our memories? It's pretty hard to see. I don't see any though. Okay, so one of us gets this card. I guess that's me. I'll put it in my discard. And then it says each other dreamer gains an ether. I guess we don't get that ether. I wouldn't mind taking that ether. Okay, add 236E to the slumber map. Did I not already get that one out? (236E), so it's a new slumber map tile. I'll just put that at the back. 3 shopping carts. I believe we still have all 3 of ours. We never need all 3, but we do have all 3. Change the season to ordinary days. It already is. I haven't messed with it. All right, now before I continue, is there another question? That's why I was mistaken last time when I said you used the shining gems. You didn't have them back then, but now you do. Yes, okay. Does the white sign token not have a match? The color looks similar to our current tiles. I'm not sure what you're saying. What card was this? 236L. Why do I have that one out? Well, maybe this was stuck to something. Okay, what is this question? Does the white sign token not have a match? Oh, you're saying this. Does the white sign token, this one? Where do you think this matches? It looks similar to our current tiles. Does it though? It's white. I don't think we have any white on this map. What we do have is yellow. We do have this color. Does this match anything on our current things? What is it? It's like a bed or something. I don't see it. This one, you mean? Yeah, this one looks a little bit like our colors too, but what would it match? Can't quite tell what it is. It's like white on the bottom. Like, how the hell are you supposed to see these things? What a weird mini game. What do you think it is? So I think it's this one. But where do you see where this would go? It looks similar, yes, I agree. But my God, guys, like, really? We're supposed to see where this goes? Right where you remove the white token. Okay, I'm not sure how. Where on this map? Like up here somewhere? It's near some yellow. I don't really see it, to be honest. Looks close, though. Oh! There it is! You got it! Yeah, you're right. Bottom right quadrant. Okay, that's insane. Okay, but you're right. There it is. Maybe, actually, this is helpful. If this is always the exact right size, that does make life a little bit easier. Okay, so you guys did it. So you actually have 2 symbols, thanks to Ghost Drive. This one and this one was from the train. So let's do both of these now. But before I do these 2, Let's finish doing this. Boy, lots of cleanup to do here. Okay. After leaving the park, the path soon leads us into a beautiful ordered forest, interspersed with many tracks. There is a signpost at each junction with distances and traveling times to each destination. These are no ordinary paths. It appears we can reach far-flung places surprisingly quickly in mere minutes. Memories can lead us so far in an instant. Maybe it's worth trying one of them out. Depending on which Dreamscape tile you attach the final exit card to, you may relocate the team to the corresponding Dream World map tile, provided that the Dream World map tile is already revealed. Okay, so it wants us to tell it what we attach to. So we attach to A3. So let's see what it says. If you attach to A3, empty Phantasmagoria location. Okay, so let me write that down. Can you guys hear the hurricane outside? They said there's a risk of tornado tonight. I don't know if you can hear it. The rain slamming on the window. Okay, so Phantasmagoria. I'm not sure Phantasmagoria is out. It's not. So we can't go to it. It's not out. Otherwise, we stay in the Dreamgate location. So since Phantasmagoria is one of the only places not out, we are stuck here. So we're in Metropolis, where we went in. All right, what else? Discard the current Dreamscape. Return all cards. Remove the Dreamgate tile of this dream from the game. Okay, I'll never forget those sunshine days. Okay, that gets removed from the game. Gain all, then gain 239U. We didn't already get that? 239U, which is the alternate version of this dream. The return, yes, return to the Sunshine Days green version. Got a whole bunch of dreams available to us now. Reveal the 2 starting slumber map tiles and place the dreamers. Okay, so it resets to 2 slumbers and we're ready for the next mission. We have got a ton of dream gates we can go to. We have an ether. These 2 cards we never discovered during this stream. 115F and 115H. Just make sure that we weren't supposed to get these. Tile, card J, card G. I guess these are out of our hands. Maybe they'll come back. So we'll shuffle those back in. All right, now we said we were going to do these 2 symbols that have been discovered both by Ghost Drive. So let's see what we've got here. We've got 1 generic group token and then 1 specific to us. Okay, let's do 1059, the group one. Yellow eyes glisten in the tunnel, rarely blinking. Is it an oncoming train? The rails come out of the tunnel and disappear into the fog. Here, everything is surrounded by dense mists that delimit places and permeate everything. They devour the surroundings in front of our eyes as if wanting to erase everything from existence. The oppressiveness of the mists sometimes feel as though they are there to punish us. We feel the weight of the suitcases. Oh, what the hell. On an impulse, we throw them toward the yellow eyes. The lights disappear in the dark. Okay, so this is why we shouldn't have read this outside of where we saw it. Discard of baggage. Distribute all available things. So we would have been able to get a whole bunch of gems. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to take this one that we saw, and we're not going to do anything with this. I'm just going to put it back. When we go back to the train station, we'll trigger that. Because clearly it wanted us to trigger it in the train dream. Okay, but now there's this one, which we could have done while in this mission. I'll never forget those sunshine days. The sun was beating mercilessly down upon us, but as a child, I didn't pay attention to such little things. I even loved the heat on my skin. I was looking forward to the moment when the dirt road ended and from behind the hill disappeared the gate of the park, the entrance to the mysterious labyrinth of gardens. Dad, what if there are bad dogs in there? Don't worry, child, there are no dogs. Barney didn't want to hurt you at all either. He was just a little sick. You know, Barney would never hurt you if he could recognize his best friend, Kane and Ether. So we have a little memory of being in this park as a kid and being afraid of dogs, and that's what triggered this nightmare dream with the dogs. And we made friends with the dog because we had a memory of Barney, our dog, being a good dog. Okay, so we get an ether for that. Now we have 2 ether. We might even be able to go shopping. Okay, then this one is done with. Pretty cool. I can take care of the work of packing everything up. We're in pretty good shape, though. We've got 6 cards built, including one that increases our hand size, one that will help us trigger the delta phase, and that delta phase is pretty, we'll be able to use 2 things in the delta phase. And just to remind you, delta phase is coming soon. We can cure all our distress and unseal all of our cards. So if we can just survive 2 more slumbers, then we'll be at full health. Okay. I can actually help during the dream, but maybe it's better to use it next time when you play the train dreaming. And yes, okay, do you think it has something to do with the slumber dog? There was some thunder. Yeah, you can hear the thunder, huh? We definitely have a dog that's going to come out next time we reshuffle our slumber. We're actually in pretty good shape. If we can keep this card out and just get through 2 more slumbers, we'll get all of our distress healed up and all of our cards unsealed. So we're in pretty good shape for the next, to get back to full health. All right, a fun dream. And we've learned some new shining gem skills. You do have to be impressed by how committed the designers are to this game being weird and unusual, and all these different choices of different dreams to do in different order and new things getting unlocked. It's pretty impressive. It's sort of a, they seem to be willing to trade off adding a little chaos and unpredictability in order to have a world that feels like there are a lot of possibilities at any given time. You could see different groups would go through these missions in very different orders. No one's going to do them in the same order. Okay, pretty cool. I don't know what dream we're gonna do next. We've got so many to choose from. That's crazy. I kind of want to go into the secret lab, to the docks, who lives in my house. These are all intriguing. All right, any thoughts from the chat before we go? We've definitely benefited from genetics, otherwise known as Ghost Drive. I really do appreciate you joining us for these. What did we think of this mission? I liked this mission a lot. This might be my favorite one so far. Maybe because we tamed all those dogs right in the beginning. But I like this. It came down to a little bit of tight time. But we did get bulked up. We got a chance to use some very cool cards. We made some good use of our re-rolling. Yeah, I would say this is probably my favorite mission so far. I'm still struggling to wrap my head around the ebb and flow of taking wounds and distress and then curing them. Like you're kind of always floating up and down. We're not having to awaken yet, but I wonder if we shouldn't be trying to awaken more. And I wonder if we shouldn't try our other mask. John says, I think the mannequins in the dark is still my favorite mission so far. Oh yeah, that was a good one. All right, thank you for joining me. If you are enjoying this game of Etherfields, you might want to check out the unboxing and discussion I just did of the new Seventh Citadel content that just got delivered. I'm curious to get back into that. The similarities between Etherfields and Seventh Citadel are non-trivial. They're both sort of exploration games. One is much more on rails in terms of a realistic fantasy story. This one is much more surrealistic. I think I have not played another game that leaned so hard into a surrealistic dream world. You have to give them credit for really embracing that, and there is some very cool elements of that in this game. I'm enjoying it. I'd say I'm a little more positive about the game now than I was at the end of the last mission. I do think we're well advised to keep playing it with a little bit of a wink and a nod when it has to do with fighting the monsters. So far, the missions I've liked are the ones that are minimal with the combat fighting. Okay, thank you for joining me. I'll see you on the next live stream. If you want to help decide what games we play and when, let me know. It feels like this is infinite. So I don't know what we're going to do about that. We should remember to bring the penguin out more. Maybe there's some more companions. All right, I'll see you next time.